Well, welcome everyone to your C3 Imagine podcast. Today we're going to talk about organization. The context of this podcast is meant for group and team leaders within the C3 Imagine community, which means if you're group leader, team leader with one of our 3 locations, then this is exactly for you. The beautiful thing about today is that we've actually got 3 experts within the C3 Imagine organization who are going to talk about this specific topic. So if I start at my left, this is Esther van Ommeren. She is the operations manager from church, also an entrepreneur. She definitely has the gift of administration. She's the quickest to respond on any message, even quicker than Hans on anything. Yeah, so I love that. That's telling me that she's got the gift. We've got Judith van Tiel here as well. I would say that she's an excellent process manager. She just looks at things and the first thing that she says, can we not do it more efficient? I love that about Judith. She's also our Imagine Bible College principal and she's got over 10 years of work experience within C3 Imagine. And we've been very busy the last 10 years. So now as location pastor, you can tell she needs to organize her life with 3 kids and she does an amazing job at that. And we've got the one and only Hans Buisgogge, events coordinator, events manager, director. He's basically bossing the events within C3 Europe, which is amazing. He's done that for so many years with such great passion. He's been part of the global team also to organize the global events. Just a great guy, father of 3 beautiful children. So let's start out with the questions today. My name is Peter Jacobs, for those who don't know. I'm currently associate pastor here in the Zuidoost location, which is my absolute privilege. But let's go into the questions. So, Esther, if you ask me what I really see in your life is that you really love organizing. Just tell me, why do you love organizing?
I think organizing gives you some clarity in what's happening in your life. And I have the gift of administration. So I think that's why I love organization. Because I believe that if you are doing what you're gifting, that it's really giving you joy. I really love to organize everything.
When did you start to see in your life that you have the gift of administration?
I think after I had my middle school, I went to an MBO-opleiding. It was activiteitenbegeleiding, so it's activity, I don't know, how do you call it in English? But there I learned to plan all activities for, well, in my case, it was elderly people. So I went to this home for elderly people, and there we had every day all the activities for people, for all the elderly people. And I love to do that because we gave really meaningfulness in their day, because those people were sitting there in their rooms and we picked them up and we had nice things to do for them. So we really structured the day a little bit.
So you were structuring the days and then you were like, yeah, I can really do this.
Yeah.
Nice.
True.
I can imagine that they would have a great fun because you organized it so well.
Oh, I hope so.
Beautiful. Hans, for you, what role plays organization in your life?
Yeah, I think especially now in my current life, it's everything.
Right.
If I don't organize, I think our worlds won't spin anymore.
Right.
It's easy as that.
You're currently busy with organizing the Europe event.
Yeah, we got a Europe event coming up, but also with the kids and my wife. We both work. The kids have to go to all their sports, dancing classes. Then we both have our own company.
Right.
We got so many meetings happening. Also, we do things for church. So if we don't organize, our lives will just mess up. So it's besides I like to do it, it's also something we have to do. Yeah.
Yes. Do you love organizing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. The thing for me is, it's also a joy if things just work out. You know, if you organize something, or you plan something, it gives me peace as well. If 80% of the things are organized and planned, then you got 20% margin to things that just happen, or you're not aware of, or you need to solve. And if you don't organize anything, in my experience, then then I have to wing it every day.
Yeah.
And that's really exhausting.
Yeah.
If I can plan most of it, then I got room and capacity left for if I do have to show up somewhere I didn't expect to be, or if I do need to pick up my kids somewhere because they got a flat tire or anything like that, you know? So organizing helps me a lot. And therefore, I got capacity left, and I become a way more joyful person to be around with. So, yeah.
Energy management is so important.
It is.
We do so many things, and I love to be really productive. But I like what you say is that if you don't organize it, it's become an exhausting exercise because you constantly have to react. You constantly have to think in the moment, what am I going to do about it? But if you think about it beforehand, that's where you can get the margin in your planning. I love it.
Yeah.
I see you do it. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to react to that because I see that as well. I've just been through a really turbulent season. So we just recently moved house, but also renovating.
Fun.
And my son has respiratory problems. So we couldn't be in the house that we were renovating. So we were actually out of the house for 8 weeks in 6 different houses.
What?
Oh.
And constantly I am looking for things. Where is the hairbrush? Where is this? Where is that? Every day looks different. Every day is chaotic, and it creates a lot of stress. And I've realized I've seen the big difference between when life works and when life does not work.
Right.
And that is when you don't, or you can't, or you don't organize. You live by the day and see how things evolve and how you survive and get through it.
And that's interesting because I know you have organized this with Philip in a very meticulous way. So still you get a lot of surprises and still you have to work that out somehow. But how does it work for you? Do you get frustrated when things do not go as you planned it out to be? Or how do you manage those type of unexpected circumstances?
I think I do it in 2 ways. First, I try and manage the unexpected as best I can.
Right.
But at some point, you just have to surrender and you have to go, this is the way it is. And it's going to be messy. And, we usually have really strict times. I have 3 kids as well. And we usually sit really strict on their screen time. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, they're going to have an hour extra today because, and that's the thing. Sometimes you just have to let go. And you, or we going to eat paper plates today and we're going to order pizza. And forget about the vegetables.
Just be a little bit phlegmatic in the situation.
You have to, because otherwise, if you try and manically hold on to trying to keep everything organized when you can't, then that becomes even more stressful.
Yeah, it becomes there comes some tension. Yes. Nobody likes tension.
Yeah, and the kids love that too. My kids were not stressed at all about having pizza and watching another movie. They were perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. Or is Monday night always potato night? So they just need to stick with potato night. I don't know. Interesting. But Judith,
AVG, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, for those who are vegans amongst us, then it's not AVG, but you have to organize your life.
All the
especially
English
with
people have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's a Dutch thing,
including me.
AVG, aardappels.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Vlees. Yeah, you knew that.
Right, check.
Yeah. Well, Judith, I think for your life, if you would look at your family life, you've already described it a little bit, but explain to me a little bit, what does your life look like and how do you organize your life?
So I have 3 kids, a 2-year-old, 5, and 10.
Yeah.
And I work for church, and then we do a lot of different things for church. So as you mentioned, Imagine Bible College, Almere location. My husband works full time. He has his own company. So there's a lot of things that are spinning. Yeah. Same as what Hans was sharing about his world. And so organization of all those different aspects, actually, I don't see them. They are segmented, but they are not. You have to look at the whole picture. And there's constantly things that are happening and moving.
Right.
So a lot of different things have to just be pre-planned or pre-scheduled. Even if you think about the morning routine of the kids, that they know they have to get up, they know what they're wearing in the morning, they know that they have to brush their hair, and they know what they're eating. And if that goes haywire the whole day, there's the different, or there's even organization in that specific to calendar. How do we manage our calendar? We have a shared Google Calendar so that I can see Philip put in something. I know, okay, he's got something on that night. I can't plan anything in because I have the kids.
Yes,
So
yes.
that way we don't have to communicate with each other. The
Yeah.
calendar does the communication for us.
Yeah. That's a very
Yeah.
handy tool, especially for those who are, let's say, starting out with young families and they're going to get into the situation. What would be the things that you're currently really practically using to make your life better? So the calendar is one thing, and then
The calendar, one thing. I think getting kids into a structure is a big thing.
okay,
So helping them, and each child is different. So helping them with what they need to be structured. And sometimes, like even now, because we've just gone through this really messy season, I'm having to reinforce simple things like when you finish eating, put your stuff in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
We're no longer on holidays.
yeah.
But it's those things that help with children to teach them structure as
Right,
well. When you
right.
come home, you hang up your jacket.
Yes.
You put your shoes away.
Yes,
Those kind of things help family life run, I think.
right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Hans, what works for you? Being a father of 3, your kids are older, but
yeah, I agree with Judith. It's structure. If the kids know what is expected of them, life becomes a lot easier. There's always a way, like how they wake up, how they feel. So you have to be flexible. You have to be relaxed.
Right.
I think don't be a drill sergeant in what you need to do. I think you have to be careful there because that can be like where you can lean into, like you have to do this, you have to do that. So always be intentional with the kid itself. Like you see them, you hug them, you give them the time. Like in the mornings, if they come in and give me a hug, I give them a hug, but I don't release them until they release me.
right.
So it's their timing. So they can hug me as long as they need it, not as long as I have time for them, but as long as they need it. So it's those little details that makes a difference in that. But you mentioned as kids, I think especially if those that are getting kids, don't forget your spouse. Like for me and Sanne, we work really well together with our kids because we have time for each other.
Yeah.
Like if we are not in sync or we're not aligned, we don't know what's happening in each other's emotional world or in work life. We will just be two people both trying to take care of the kids and both their own thing.
Right.
Whereas you want to know, hey, if Sanne, my wife, has a challenging week or a busy week, I know I've got to pick up a bit more.
Yeah.
But I can only do that when I put time away with her, like on a date night or a weekend away, time together without the kids. Sanne is a loving mother. She has a lot of energy. But I know by the end of the day, when the kids have taken all the energy, she doesn't have a lot left for me anymore.
Right.
So if I don't plan together with her a moment to sit together, then we won't be in sync. And then, to be honest, if the mother of the house is not in sync with the husband, then everything is just messed up.
Crumbles down.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, thank you for being so open about your family life. I think it's especially for those who are, our children are older, even out of the house for Esther, which is, in the process of, which is amazing. My kids are not completely there yet, and they will be, and that will be sad, but also a very joyful moment, I think. But especially when you start out a young family with kids, then you have to have those basics in place. Otherwise, you just see your life, go away from you. Let's move it a little bit toward, let's say, what organization brings for you personally from a mental health perspective, and specifically going into boundaries, because some people, they live their YOLO lives, right? So you only live once, and then they trash everything in their agenda, and then they do everything, and then within 5 years they're so burnt out and they're so full on, they're just whacked. Tell me a little bit, Esther, how do you organize that? How do you make sure that at the end of the day, not the thing that you did was the most important, that you spend all your energy on, but actually what was most important for yourself?
Yeah, I think for me, you talked about boundaries. What is a really important one for me is having like a good balance between personal time and work and church.
Yes.
Because we have all those things in our lives. For me, like personal time, I really need to plan that as well, because otherwise I forgot about myself or my husband or whatever.
Yes.
Because I can work all the time if I want.
Yes.
So how it works for me, like in my calendar, I have all different colors. So for instance, I have blue for work and I have orange for church. And then I have a different color for my to-dos. And I have purple, and that is for my personal life.
Right.
So it is like nice things, going to the hairdresser or whatever, personal, or hanging out with a friend. But it could also be like hanging out with a friend and just talk about myself and how I'm doing at the moment. Because that's also personal.
Yes.
That's also like working on myself. And then in the month after, I look back and see, did I really had enough purple in my agenda? Because you can forget about it easily. And if not, then I'm really going to plan for the next month to have more purple in my agenda.
Good, beautiful.
So that's one of the things. As well, for my husband and myself, it's really important to have weekly Sabbaths. So we have weekly, normally on Sundays, we go to church, yes. We serve in church, yes, but that's part of our Sabbath. Because Saturdays is most of the time so eaten up by all other things that we need to do. And sometimes we have a thing on Sundays, and then we really plan like, okay, but then Saturday is empty.
Right.
And that is our Sabbath.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So really, you would say how to keep your mind sane is to really be, well, not strict, but you plan in your personal time what's really important for you. And you make sure that every week you've got that consistent time. And even reflecting back on how did that go, maybe I should put more time on self-care in a sense.
Yeah. And also really communicate it to family, to friends, to everyone around you. Like, okay, but this time I have planned in for myself. I'm sorry, I'm not able to. Of course, when there's an emergency or whatever, then we can swap it a little bit. But we really like to keep that what it is.
Judith, why is, let's say, this sense of having time for yourself or self-care so important in the total scheme of, being productive and doing things for whatever role you're carrying as an individual?
I think it's really important I think we can see, in our lives we have our different aspects of ourselves, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual.
Yes.
Very important one not to forget.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And sometimes we can focus on one more than the other. And I think in church life, a lot of times we focus a lot on the spiritual being very important. We neglect physical very quickly, I think. And that has to do a lot with church history. But if you see those aspects as like a barrel that has to be filled, if you think of a barrel that has to be filled with water, and those are it's a bit hard to explain without drawing it, but those are like the wooden, if you think about old-fashioned barrel with those wooden things, and those aspects are those wooden things, and you would fill that barrel, then it could only be filled to the lowest capacity if one of them was broken. So basically, if one of those areas we are depleted in, our energy is depleted in, then we don't have the capacity that we need to do what we need to do. So if we're physically tired, we can say that we're fantastically going to do all these things, but we're not going to be able to do it. We just need physical rest, or if we're mentally, we have a mental overload, and there's different things. I actually have a list where I write down what depletes me in these areas.
Right, very good.
And what fills me. So then when I know, okay, actually this is an area that I am depleted in right now, what do I need to do? What are like 1 or 2 actions I can do right now, today, or tomorrow, whatever, to make sure my tank gets filled again.
Exactly.
And if the structured, because you can do that on the go. You can go on the go and go, oh, I feel like this, and now I have to fill up my tank. But I think if it's structured, like what Esther is explaining, if you have a weekly Sabbath, if you have weekly principles in place, then it won't crash down as much, because you're filling it up every single week with different things.
I think what I really see in all three of you is there is this consistency in output. There is this consistency in productivity where the organizing of your life is not just coming from, being rigid in doing the things for church or doing the things for your work, but also in sustaining yourself and making sure that every week there is a moment of refreshment, something that is very specific to you, very important to you, and it's your time, and that you refresh your spirit in that. I think especially when you're wanting to pursue ministry, I think that's definitely one of the things that we want to recommend specifically out of listening to this podcast because, there are a lot of things that we have to be very reactionary towards. You don't know sometimes how your life or day is going to become, although you're very organized. But then having moments where you refresh yourself is really good. Thank you, Judith. Very awesome. All right, Hans. Tell me a little bit. How's your personal well-being connected to living an organized life?
I think it comes in, I think what you just said, like all those different aspects, like spiritual, emotional, physical, and stuff like that. Like, if I don't take time for myself, and I will come on the work floor, or especially during an event, and I'm not rested, or I'm not feel I have enough time for myself, my responses will not be on the level it should be. So you should be aware that if you're emotionally heavy, your response, well, at least me, I'm going to be really direct. I'm not thinking about the other person as much as I could. If there is a challenge and it needs to be a solution, you will go in front of the music or giving the solution instead of giving the volunteer or the other person the opportunity to catch up and maybe even come up with their own idea. The downside of that is that I'm going to give the solution, so I'm going to be the responsible one carrying it. Meaning that if I don't take enough time for myself, I will respond quicker, becomes my role, my task, where if I would have taken a bit of time for myself, that person would come up with the idea, could carry it and complete the task without me being there or needed. So sometimes we take time for ourselves to create time somewhere else again. So I would always try to even on the go, just stand still, like, what do I feel? How am I doing? Because if I don't do that, I'm creating more work for myself later on. So I think that's, for me, is really important to do that. And it's not something you know by the first time. You crash, you fall, you do it wrong. So anyone who's listening, don't think I'm perfect. Definitely not. It's just,
none of us are.
I've learned not to do that anymore. So learn, be better for that because you know it already. That's
I think that the reason why we're sitting here together is that we all see that we heavily need it, but it's a struggle. So we're working the struggle, and then we see that, we're becoming better at it, and even to a point where we actually get to enjoy it to some extent. I would see these three as having the gift of administration and organization. I don't necessarily have that. It's what Patrick Lencioni calls as a word genius. It just comes as one of your giftings. I would say it's not my gifting. I really had to work hard at it to make it my gifting, so to speak. So, which you can also do. So if you don't have the gift of organization, don't worry. You can get there, but it will take more effort. Like, some things, they take effort. All right, well, let's put it more into the context of, let's say, church organization for group leaders, team leaders, and department head leaders. Just give me your best takeaways on, what you would recommend any leader in our church to do in regarding of organizing a group meeting, a night, or a team meeting, or even a department meeting. What would be your takeaways? What would be your encouragement for the people who are listening, looking today?
I think just to jump into what Hans said just before about taking a moment and stopping. I think it counts the same way if we lead our teams in groups. Because if we don't stop and think of what the vision is or where we want to go or what needs to be done, we can't take others along with us. And then we end up doing everything ourselves and running around like a chickless chicken, a headless chicken. That's the moment we can go, if like you're a group leader, we're going to do communion this Wednesday. Who could do communion? And you're able to ask that person. That person has a great opportunity to step out and do communion for the first time. You don't have to organize communion now. You've got communion organized for you. So it's a win-win situation. But if it's Tuesday evening and you're like, oh, crap, we have group tomorrow and for doing communion, then it's you doing the communion. And you're stressed out and having to prepare it and you're in bed at 12 a.m. or whatever. So it's that is really the way to, and the same thing goes as a team leader. I think it's a key for delegation, and it sets people free and empowers them to do different things.
And understand also your why. Why are you doing things? Like sometimes we can, especially as a church, we can focus on the numbers of we need a lot of people coming in. But why are you organizing? What are you doing? why I'm putting this team together, why am I having this group evening, what do I want the people coming to take away from this?
Yeah.
Like, is it joy? Is it a touch of God? Or it's not about. It's almost like you always have that saying, like, you can have a great message as long as one person is touched by it. It's enough. You know, not everybody needs, as long as one person needs to be touched. So if we just ran in headless chicken, run into it, doing our thing, which we're all really good at, like getting this done, getting a lot of people in, and and then you come away, and then a week later nobody remembers anymore what has happened or what we have done. Then you're almost like, why did I put so much effort into it? Because nothing came out of it.
I like what you both are saying. I think it's also very much a matter of intentionality. It's like it's very easy if you got a lot on your plate to basically do what needs to get done. And if you get into that mode, you're actually on a treadmill because you're not getting anywhere, and all the work is being done by yourself. So basically taking a step back and focus on what is the strategy, what is the intention, what is the why, what is the feeling. I like what you said, that you want people to leave after you've done the meeting. If you create that sense of impact, output, then that's the level of impact that you want to create. So
I think as well, like, that you really need to learn to trust other people.
Yes.
That they can also do it.
Yes.
Not that you are the best always, but like other people have giftings others than yours.
Yes.
Maybe they can do it even better than you.
Yeah.
And as well, that it's not that God is only working through yourself, but also through other people.
Yeah.
So that's really important.
I find it a very interesting development. It's a typical thing, actually, for those who are specialists, those who've been actually really good at something. Then the tendency is that we want to do it ourselves because, I got it done in 2 minutes, and then someone else it takes an hour. But I think in church context, and that's what I see you say, and what I've seen you three all do is not about getting the thing done, but it's about the bigger picture. It's about being intentional. What is it that we as a church organization try to do? So in the context of a group leader, you don't want to have a group necessarily so that people have a great time, but you want to be intentional. Who's going to be my next person who's going to take over the group? Or when I was leading a group, I'm looking at what is the individual need of the person, and then during the night, I'm steering the conversation toward that. Or when we're grabbing some food, I'm just asking intentional questions. So, but yeah, great. I totally love that. Esther, let's say there will be here some department head leaders listening. How do you organize your departments? Being an operations manager, you've got so many departments that you're overseeing, even let's say, finance and things that really have nothing to do necessarily with your personal expertise. Although I think you're very organized with finances, but how do you do that? How do you plan for that? What is the success behind what it is that you're doing?
Yeah. What I am doing is like really keeping the oversight of all the teams.
Yeah.
So let them have their own expertise. I don't need to know everything about anything about everything.
Yeah.
But also like for them to see the bigger picture.
Right.
So we are there with all those different departments, and we want to be one to make things happen in the location or like in all locations for it's central. So for me, it's really important that we feel like we are one team.
Right.
And I'm there to help you, maybe to help you organize everything that you are doing, like in your head.
Yeah.
Like it can be sometimes people are asking you all those different things from different angles, but then that we have an oversight and see what people really need from us and how we get this boat the right direction.
Right. You're not only working with staff, you're also working with a lot of volunteers. So how do you motivate volunteers to basically jump on the boat that you are already pushing and you're sailing towards, let's say, the thing that you try to achieve?
Well, I find it's really important that people feel like they are a part of it.
Right.
So what I do is ask people like, hey, would you like to learn more about what we are doing as the church? Would you like to be able to use the gifting that God gave you?
Right.
Just come and see what you like to do in the office.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Just to involve them, not to get the job done, but to have people involved.
Yeah, exactly. Judith, for you as being a location pastor, and in the many roles that you've carried in church, how important is your leadership into? Well, let me rephrase that. How do you know that you've got the right person in your team, or getting the right person to get to do something? How do you know that?
I think sometimes I love just giving people a go.
Right.
Because sometimes there's gold in them and you can't see it on the onset.
Yeah.
So that's really important. And having ongoing conversations with them as they're having a go. So you're not letting them just drown in the water,
Yeah.
but you're teaching them to swim, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And partway through, you will see, are they going to be able to swim or not? And you can have conversations, and it's not like you failed now, because we're having ongoing conversations about it. But I also think spiritual gifts plays a really big role, and I always try and incorporate people's spiritual gifts into where they're placed and what they're doing, and their natural. Because then you're in your grace. So I notice my spiritual gifts, when I operate in them, it's an ease.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. So you know, in the middle of this really crazy season, I'm teaching a class, I'm preaching, and that's fine. It doesn't stress me out, where somebody else would be completely stressed.
Yeah.
So there's a grace that God gives you on the spiritual gifts that he's given you and on everyone else.
Yeah.
And if people are in that space and you see the fruit of that, then I think they're placed really well. And they won't get tired because they're operating in that grace.
Yeah, great.
There was a time that I had no idea when people say like that they did things that give them energy, and I was like, how could it be? Because I'm exhausted after a day of work. How can you get energy from working? Until I started really working in my giftings. And then I saw the joy and getting the energy of doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if people are getting tired, they may not be in the right space.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily the reason, but
Don't quit your job straight away. Don't worry.
no. I'm not saying it is. It could be.
Exactly. When you give people a chance,
Thank you, Hans.
when you give people a chance, you don't know exactly what their gifting is. So you just have to.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, the power of why do we want to get organized is to basically create more margin in our worlds for the things that are important for us. Why we want to get organized is because we want to get things done that are most important for us. So we have to strategize. We have to be intentional. Yeah. We have to think about the why. But also, especially as leaders in church, we want to make sure that whenever we are involving other people in it, that our whys actually develop other people. We want to develop people in our group. We want to develop people in our team. We want to develop the department. And for me, being in a period of being a location pastor, that was the most rewarding thing as a leader, is that actually what I'm about to do is not about me doing a great job. No, what I'm about to do is bring other people in the same boat, like Esther mentioned, in the thing that I'm doing, and then releasing them in their own boats, so that the gifting and calling that God has placed on their world, that they can actually do it. Because eventually we don't organize to organize. We want to be a contributing factor into growing the kingdom of God. And we want to contribute not just in the kingdom of God, but also to our families, to our wife, to our kids, to facilitate them also with an example so that they can build their lives as well in that sense. Yeah. So I actually want to bring it to a wrap up. Thank you very much for all of your input. But actually, Judith, you sitting here as being the former principal on the Imagine Bible College, please enlighten us with, can you please explain this? That just to keep it on the biblical perspective, what is the biblical foundation for living an organized life?
Ooh, that is such a big question. You have to do Imagine Bible College to get that answer.
Of course.
But to lift up the veil slightly,
slip it in.
We'll start in Genesis. So God created the world in 6 days. And he created it with order. There was chaos. It was a world of chaos, and he brought order into chaos. So God is a God of order. And in the first 3 days, he created spaces, and then those spaces were filled. So if you should just read Genesis, and if you read through it, the Genesis story, you can see that that he created realms, and then he created the beings that would fill the realms. And in that alone, you start seeing structure in it. And it starts there and it goes all throughout Scripture. Yeah.
Amazing. Start with the big blocks first. Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you all for your contributions, Hans, Judith, and Esther. And thank you for watching and listening to this podcast. I trust that this has actually been really helpful for you in the context of your family life, in your personal life, your work life. and also as a group / team leader, department head leader, that you get some ideas on how can I approach this matter. And if there would be one takeaway that we'll be taking out of this podcast, although we've been organizing it together, is that peace and personal margin and mental health is really important for you to be your best self, to be the person that other people need you to be, and to take time to really reflect and be strategic and intentional about the things that you're going to do. So, really see, the next season in your life being more organized. You don't have to have the gift of administration. You can work it as well. But thank you very much for listening, and all the best with your next venture.